Hello. I call this meeting of the Vader City Council to order at 6 o'clock on July 11th, 2019. We will now have a roll call by the city clerk.
Randy Hall.
Here.
Jason Daly.
Here.
Joe Shy.
Here.
Mike Parsons.
Here.
Leona Sander Hunter.
Here.
And Mayor Wilson.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, I have a little bit of a,
One more thing.
oh yeah, I gotta have it. Jeez, I was so into it. Jason, I already forewarned you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I have a mayor's report. What I wanted to just mention is I'm pretty ignorant on some of this, as you guys probably know, but I have been doing the Robert's Rules of Order. You know, I'm trying harder all the time. Well, I decided that one of my problems is, the mayor has the executive order in a mayor council city, and it's defined by law. But what really happens again, it's the council is the one who makes all the decisions, policy. And then it's my job as a mayor to make sure that your policies are, done how they're supposed to be done, and keep track of all that kind of stuff. And I was wondering that, if that, the mayor has the executive authority in the mayor council city. The authority is defined by the state law and must be exercised in a manner consistent with policy decisions made by the city council. So the city council makes the decisions, and my job is to see that what you guys do gets done. And I don't know, I had an idea that, like if you're the big wahoo, and I'm not. Because now I know that you guys are the big wahoo.
Yeah, we're the big cheeses.
You're the big cheeses. Anyway.
You just get to be the tiebreaker.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I thought, my idea of what the mayor does is, Anyway, but I'm working on it. Anyway, the other thing I wanted to do is we got the Department of Ecology. The city received official written notice from the Department of Ecology for our wastewater treatment facility. And when I read the number, $4,848,030, I went, woohoo!
Yes.
So yeah. And
$4,848,030.
And $2,581,576 of that funding is grant funding that we don't need to pay back. Woohoo! Again, when the project is done, and the interest rate, just in case anybody wanted to know, is 2.2%. And we don't need to, when the project is done, it will be in compliance with all state regulations, and we will have more hookups available for growth. Woohoo! We might have a lot of people.
Yep.
Anyway, I was so happy. That was probably one worry-free fun time I had.
Yeah, so $4.8 million grant funding for our sewer project.
No.
No.
4.8 million funded 2.5, if you look on the back,
Yeah.
2.5 is grant.
Grant.
And
Oh.
2.2 is, or 2.3 is loan. However, we do have an application in for that additional 750,000. If we get that, it will lower that loan amount by 750,000 more. So,
I also had another thing that seemed very happy. I got Ken's mail, and I opened it up, and there is, I think it's August the 8th, I can go to a class that teaches you how to ask for money from the federal government. You get grants from the federal government, and I'm going to go take that class. And I told Jill, sign me up. I want some more woohoo moments. Anyway, it was good. Anyway, does the council have any reports?
I just wanted to bring up, we had F Street done, as you guys have heard.
Yeah, that was good.
So I got a list of all the streets in Vader that are gravel that John maintains or tries to maintain, so on and so forth. The guy that did it, he came out with this attachment on the back of his tractor. I had never seen one before, but it's called
Here's a picture of it.
it's called a grading scraper. Not box scraper, a grading scraper. And he went through that like butter. Just driving that thing back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. It took him a few hours to get it, but F Street, as you know, was horrible.
You didn't add gravel to that?
And then after that, we decided to add 3 loads instead of 8 loads. What this thing does is it grabs the gravel from underneath and like fluffs it back up to the top so that the dirt can settle and then the gravel sits on top of it. And so we ended up, instead of 8 loads is what I thought it was going to be, we ended up with 3 loads. So the whole street was like $1,100 or something like that to get the whole street done. But anyway, I was talking to John about it, and he had never heard of it or seen one of those either. Now that I've seen it, you'll see them at like Reichert's has one, and there's different places where they have a lot of gravel. They just have one there. So I called the guy that did F Street, and I said, hey, what would you recommend if you came in and did our roads for us like every 6 months or once a year or something like that? And that way John didn't have to worry about it. We just subbed that out. Or do we just get the implement for our tractor? And he recommended getting the implement for the tractor. He gave me all the specs on what he has on his. It's a land. Oh. Anyway.
Scraper.
Yeah, it's American made land home, I think is what it's called. But anyway, I got one bill or one estimate so far. It's $1,400 for that piece of equipment. With that piece of equipment, it would cut his time down by a lot. So, in this section, I just wanted to throw it out there to you guys. If you want a copy of this, I'll give you a copy of it. And this was the very first place that I called to. I haven't shopped around at all. I just
Is that level?
it levels it out. It tosses it up. It has rippers on the front of it.
What about a sewer thing sticking out?
Well, there's none of those.
We're talking about this.
There is on East Street.
On what? E Street?
The manhole.
The manhole.
Yeah, but we have the same. We would have the same issue with a box scraper or whatever, anything we use. We have to watch those things, but it's just a tool that makes that job easier for John.
$1,400.
$1,400 is with tax and everything. $1,432. So, anyway, throwing it out there.
Where'd it come from?
This one was from RMT. I think that's the one on the side of the freeway on the way to Chehalis. So, on Bishop Road. So anyway, maybe we'll put it on the agenda for the next meeting, and so that we can make a decision on something like this, so that we can keep the roads nicer for
We
everybody.
definitely have a lot of gravel roads in town.
Yes, we have.
Whole city sometimes. And those ones, you can't go them up the hot, or cold patch, so
Yeah,
alleyways.
a lot of alleyways. Yeah. Anyway, that's it.
Okay, does the council have any
Hey,
other reports?
one more question. Did you look in the budget to see how much we have for our road maintenance?
I haven't
Like
looked
that?
in anything. I got this today finally. I got a hold of the
What
grader
is the
guy.
budget on road maintenance? Jill, do you know?
Very, very little, as far as this is concerned.
I did-
It was like 1,500 or
Isn't there
something.
I did notice-
fund that we had for more equipment to help our road?
Yes, we're starting to fund that. I'll have to look and see how much we put in last year. I can't remember, it was between 500 and 1,000 that we put
Maybe
in
something
from
that we
last
can-
year.
I did notice that there are potholes going down to the sewer. So it could be used on the
You
sewer
can choose
road.
any gravel road in Vader and say there's potholes on it.
Well, I'm just saying that
He's
it
trying to
could be
figure out who
piece,
used sewer
piece of the
money
sewer
for it.
money.
Oh.
Well, we have to do a
Can go in there.
percentage, and that one little
That's right.
road,
There's a little
percentage
Hey,
wise.
that's a long road.
But something to look into though.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that, yeah. So if you can look into how much we put into that last year and maybe just get us an idea of what we have in there for road equipment or something to look at. Or maybe, I know we have a box scraper, but we don't have something like a road utility box scraper, which is what that sounds like to me.
Yeah, it doesn't move the dirt. It tosses the dirt type of a thing. And the guy at RMT today said, yeah, the box scraper is, nobody's using them hardly anymore.
Worthless unless you got someone standing on the back of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this one has replaceable blades, adjustable blades, and replaceable skids, because it has a skid so it doesn't dig down deep. So you can set it so it just goes a little ways down. So it's like a clean shave.
Cool. So let's get some information on that for sure.
Next,
Okay.
do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda for 7/11/2019 as written.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. It's passed. And do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the city council minutes on 6/27/2019.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
You're
Oh, I
supposed to
did.
restate the motion
Oh,
and then, so
okay.
read your script cast all in there on that green page.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Kind of missing some steps in the motion.
Yeah, I
No, you
get
don't
that.
have to flip back, you're okay, but.
Do we have a motion to approve the minutes? Yes, we did. And the motion has been seconded by,
I'll second it.
you're good at
I'm sorry, I forgot who made the motion. Mike did.
that. Yeah, Mike made the motion, I got him here. And seconded. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. The motion's passed. And now we have a motion to approve our vouchers.
I'll make a motion to approve the vouchers for the first half of July 2019 in the amount of $27,964.67.
The motion has been made. Do we have a second? A second. Okay. And all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. The motion is passed. we have a report from our sheriff officer, Sergeant Ingolfson.
You said my name right.
I know, I practiced.
Good evening. I got to apologize for not making the last meeting. I had a intoxicated individual go off the road and murder a bunch of Christmas trees, so I had to deal with that, so I couldn't make the meeting. So we had, for the month of June, we had 358 citizen contacts. We had 6 calls for service while we were working our assigned shifts in Vader. We had 12 calls for service while we were not on shift that we responded to, so we had a total of 18 calls. We had 23 traffic stops. Of those, 4 resulted in infractions. We had an arrest while we were working our shifts and an arrest while we responded to a call and while we were off shift. So, don't have anything really other to report other than we're getting a rash of, some of you probably got calls on that your Social Security card has been, they seem to target Chehalis or Vader or certain areas, and I don't know so much of Vader, we haven't got a lot down here, but that's been going on heavy the last couple of weeks, and we've unfortunately had a lot of people fall for giving them information and sending money. And
I have been hearing of the scam. So the transient season this year too. A lot of walkers,
yes,
travelers.
yeah, that seems to be a lot more in the last couple of years all over Lewis County.
They're like heading to Seattle.
And
Well, we don't have bus service, so
626. They
No.
sound like they're from India.
yes, most of them do. And then when I say, hey, I'll show up at your office and tell me where to go. No, you can't come here.
Have you had any break-ins in the last month?
I don't remember any burglaries from the last month.
A piece of property I bought was broken 3 times, 3 different days before the ink dried
In town?
in town.
Did you report it?
The owner at the time did not. I was not the owner at the time.
Okay.
But I was just curious if there was something going on in town.
I haven't seen like a rash of burglaries. And we get like, the vehicle prowl here once in a while, but nothing.
These locks were pried off, doors kicked in, everything. They went the full route, so.
Yeah, could just be hopefully it's a random thing. I'm not saying it is, but. And then obviously you have the STP this weekend, so probably have a lot of bicycle traffic coming through Vader. So I know we're gonna have extra people out and people dealing with that all over Lewis County. So you guys have any questions of me?
Did you get any calls on the picnic tables being thrown out into the creek?
I don't think nobody reported that.
Okay.
The city,
Remember that.
anyways.
Okay, I didn't know, because there's been a couple things on Facebook where everybody's, oh, this is happening, and they just don't report it, so
Happens every year.
we need.
Yeah, it really does. It happens every year.
And if it's on
And not
Facebook,
that makes it okay. Or,
Yeah.
No,
But-
just because.
But I'm just making a statement, you
sure.
want us to report things that we see, correct?
yeah, if it's a problem or someone's damaging property or something, yeah, absolutely.
Vandalism or
Yeah,
Yes.
Are you talking about picnic tables in the park?
yeah, like in the far part. They take them out, they carry them right down to the creek or throw them in the creek or just be
Oh, I thought they were bolted down on the ground.
Not the ones down at the other
not the
part.
far part.
Yeah, even if there was no damage per se, I mean, we'd still want to write a short report saying, hey, this is going on, so the next deputy can kind of know that, okay, there's a
Yeah.
problem down here, so, because if we don't know, then we don't know.
Right.
It helps if the community lets us know, because sometimes we don't know. Sometimes it happens over the weekend or something, and we get here and someone's already taken care of it, like what happened this time. So none of the city employees even knew it happened until, a week or so later when somebody came in and told us.
What
So
about a little bit of cement under each leg?
They're working on it.
Yeah.
Park board's
Just a
working
chain
on
to a tree or,
Yeah, I mean,
it's coming.
Yeah.
But the big thing is reporting it, because you never know when it's going to link to something else,
Yeah.
so.
one of the problems is we have to move the picnic tables during the winter up to the higher ground. So we have to do whatever kind of security we do. We have to be able to move it in the winter time still, because
Otherwise,
flooding
we go
can't come
down.
way up.
Alright, so yeah, we can padlock them to something and
Yeah,
move them up the hill.
so the
and
park board
padlock them all
has
together.
that, they have that on their
Yeah.
topic of things to
You made
address.
reference to SDP, what's that?
Seattle's Portland Bicycle Ride, it's a 2-day event. Usually the halfway point's Chehalis, kind of this area.
Yeah, Saturday's a mess,
Yeah.
Oh,
but it's just one day. On Sunday morning, the slow ones come through. Yeah, Saturday's a mess. I try to tell everybody, just one day,
Yeah.
one day.
Where are they coming down, Highway 506?
Could you,
Winlock Vader Road,
Oh, yeah.
there's no way for them to come from Toledo this year? I'm not sure if they're.
They'd have to come down South Military or Winlock Vader.
Are
Or
they gonna do that? or-
They could go down Jackson Highway, down
Oh,
Barnes Drive and
Right.
cut across that way. And they all seem to kind of, some of them take different paths. The majority of them take the same
They
path.
do that for like the churches and the rest stops and things like that to like alleviate some of the pressure off of them, funnel them different places, but
Yeah.
with that bridge out, I didn't know which way they're all gonna go. If they were gonna still do the Toledo route.
Yeah, I don't know their route this year. Usually I just start finding bicycles and figure out which way they're going.
Yeah, follow the motorbikes that are.
Yeah.
now I need a motion.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you.
Thank you. Get all that. We got the report from the sergeant and the city business. The first item of business is for council to consider my recommendation to appoint someone to the planning committee. And I have here somewhere. This is,
Who's this Kathy Hall lady?
huh?
I don't know Kathy Hall. Is she here today?
Yes,
Kathy Hall.
Yes, she is.
It's on your script, Lois. Just read your script, it's all printed there.
Okay, the first item of business is my recommendation for appointment to the planning committee. And I'm pleased to recommend the member of the community who stepped forward to volunteer at the city. And I have met with the candidate and found her to be capable of serving. I wish to present Kathy Hall for her confirmatory vote to serve on Vader Planning Committee. The other, a few months ago, did 2 people I offered up, and neither one of them got it. And I see that it's up to you guys.
I know Kathy very well. I know she's been a member of this community that's been like a major part of like keeping this community clean. She's very. I was just joking. I didn't know her, but I do know her, and she's very, very Vader oriented, and I think she'd be a great candidate for our city park board. So I would like to,
Planning committee.
for anything that the Vader has to do, she would be a great person. So I would recommend her for the planning committee of the city of Vader.
Is that a motion?
I make a motion to accept her on the city planning committee for the city of Vader.
Do we have a motion? Anybody?
He just made a motion,
Yeah.
so,
Do we need a second?
yep.
Anybody want to second it?
I'm assuming you're Kathy.
Nope.
Nope,
Kathy's in the
back.
Oh, you're Kathy, okay. Okay,
She's been picking up garbage in this town for a year and a half, just gladly.
I saw her out picking up fireworks the other day. Yeah. Okay.
I'll second it.
Okay. It's been seconded, and all those in favor, say aye.
Bye.
All those opposed, say nay. It's been passed. The next item on the agenda is for council to... Yes?
You
Oh,
need to see your agenda.
the next item on the agenda is for the council to consider Resolution 13, 2019, which is a resolution to update the Vader fee schedule. Do we have a motion to approve the resolution? Do we have
Does anybody have questions
Jill,
on it?
can you fill us in on this? Because
Yeah.
this is kind of hard for us for me to
Oh, okay.
understand.
All right.
You guys.
Well, the council is supposed to look at the fee schedule every year anyways. And it just so happens that we got notified that the filing fees for filing a lien at the county, the fees were going up. And so they were notifying us of that as a city. And so we needed to make the adjustment. It's just $2 from $37 to $39. So that's one of the items in our.
Just to match their fee?
Yeah.
Yes, just
Okay.
to match their fee. But in the meantime, there were some other fees that we've been talking about in City Hall that need some adjustment too. So I went ahead and proposed those here. So the first one is the mobile home installation fee. We have found over the last several years, a majority of the homes going in are mobile homes, and that our fee schedule of charging $175 is their building permit fee is just not sufficient to cover our costs, what it takes for between city staff and the building official. So we're recommending an increase of those fees.
What?
What?
Of what? An increase of what? What's the
An
recommendation?
increase from, so if you look on page 5 of the fee schedule, you'll see the single wides, which we don't have any single wides because our other regulations said that we can't have single wides, but it's still on the list. Double wides go from 175 to 350. Triple wides from 250 to 500. Multi-wide from 250 to 500. The plus 50 per attachment, that stayed the same.
So are we that low that we're
In that,
half the cost?
yeah,
I
in
mean,
that,
right now?
pretty much, yeah. In that area, we're finding that it's really quite low because we end up having at least two inspections for placement of a mobile home, and that is at a minimum $80 an hour plus his travel plus his mileage. So we're looking easily at, over, close to 200 right there, just for the two inspections. So plus, then there's the additional time of the plan review, then there's the additional time of my application processing and creating the documents and all of that. So we're finding that, we're definitely low.
That's a building permit fee?
It's
So
just a permit fee to put a double wide on a piece of
you gotta
property.
raise your hand if
Just
you want to say
curious.
something.
That's just a permit fee to put a double wide on a
Yes.
piece of property, not anything else fees, just
Anything else fees?
water hookup,
There's no
sewer,
fee,
anything,
there's no
anything.
fee from the city for water hookup. There is a side sewer fee, which permit, which is, I think, $500 or $600 for placement of a side sewer. And pretty much that's it. Yeah, the sewer that runs from the house to the street.
house. Yeah.
The section of the sewer that runs from the house to the street. That's your side, that's a private side sewer.
I thought that fee was like 4,500.
No, that's for connecting to the sewer
Oh.
line.
As if it's a new
So,
connection,
Yeah, and the permit is actually the equipment that's going in the ground that has to be inspected and permitted and all of that.
Are the people that doing the inspection are the same hired people that we've always used? And are they the best people or the most competitive people to do that?
That's been the issue for a long time. And we've been tossing it over and
We haven't come
through
up
the
with
help
anything
of, we
better.
haven't come up with anything that's
I
better
just,
than we have.
I didn't know, I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
there,
And
have we,
I'm just letting you know, because we've been dealing with this issue for a long time, because a lot of people around here have been asking us to try to find a different building official with different costs and different things, and they're all pretty much,
$350 for the placement of a triple wide manufactured home, that's your building permit fee. I mean,
That's a double wide.
that's, double wide, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's a drop in the bucket.
it is.
So,
Right.
but it does,
It
but
just
it
scares
does
me
need
that
to
we
go.
they doubled it, just doubled it, just.
Well, it's because if you
Instead of
remember when
stepping
we
it
put,
up, you know?
well, because over the last 4 years, we figured out what it costs us to do this on average, and that's what it cost us to do it. So all this time, all the ones that have been placed, which there have been several,
Right,
have run us in the hole.
right. I
So,
understand. I mean,
if you guys
things
don't
go
want
up
it, if you
every
don't
year,
want
and
it,
we haven't changed
no,
anything for so long.
we haven't
so-
changed anything since we started in
Right.
2015.
Is there some kind of like a schedule fee, like that the county goes on, that they increase something like per, keep up with the constant change of the inflation of that kind of thing?
I don't know how the county does it. I just know that this is something that I've seen that is just really low for us,
Right.
and I know it's not covering our costs, and when we add it out, it doesn't. So that's why I'm asking to suggest, the rest of our permitting fees, I'm not asking for any change there because it doesn't appear to be running us in the hole like that particular one does.
So all the fees together would probably go from like $900 to about $1,100.
All the
What,
fees
double wide?
together.
No.
The double wide?
Oh,
All the fees.
Well, it just depends on what kind of work you're doing on your project. If you're gonna
yeah, you
add,
can't do that.
if you're gonna add
You're okay.
a garage, then you'll have additional fees, but some people who don't add a garage, if you're
Right,
gonna,
yeah, there's
if you're gonna
situations.
dig, and pour a permanent foundation for the manufactured home, that's gonna add cost to it. This is just your basic slab, minor, basic installation cost, so. It requires at least a minimum of 2 inspections to be done properly, so. But that's just the first item. The second item is on page 10, and that's the park rental and reservation fees, and that is not an increase, that's just reflecting the change in what the council approved a couple of weeks ago with making it a $25 flat fee. So you'll see that's reflected there, so we're actually taking all those other costs out because council changed the fee schedule for that, so we need to update that. The lien filing fee on page 11, that's what I misstated. I said it was 37, but I said it was 32, and now it's going up to 39. And that's, like you said, like I said, it's what the county's going up to, so we have to charge well, we don't have to, we could take it in we could pay for it ourselves.
Could Cindy have a word?
That is up to council.
Up to council? Not
What's
my
that?
call.
What?
Does council want to take public comment?
Public comment from Cindy.
I'll take, yeah, I'll,
Who's our current building guy? I couldn't find a current contract online. The one that we have online is expired in December, so who's our current one?
He is still,
still, same one.
our contract has an extension ability.
Well, it wasn't approved, so that's why I was wondering, is that something that you guys are looking at?
I didn't know
The
it.
contract has an extension written into
Only
it.
until 2018, so if you know.
I don't know then.
Anyway,
But it's
might
the
wanna
same.
look at it. I just didn't know if there was a new guy.
I don't know.
Still Les
Okay, we
Townsend.
can check into that and see, maybe it needs to be updated, I
You
don't
better
recall.
call and find out.
Yeah. So the next item is the monthly sewage usage rates, which council approved an update to the sewer rates as of the first of the year, but we never went and did that actually in this particular document. It's updated in the ordinance, but not in this particular, so I'm just updating it. Side sewer permit fee, page 11. That is one that I'm asking if council would consider dropping it significantly. And that's for the side sewer permit for sewer additions, revisions, or repairs. It was set originally at $600, and we have found that to be way out of alignment with
Okay,
what we're
one more
finding.
time, say where it is.
Page 11, down near the bottom.
Got it.
Side sewer permit fee, the third one, side sewer addition, revision, or repair, is listed originally at $600. I'm suggesting we drop it down to at least $130. It could maybe even go lower than that, but I'm thinking
Well,
that's
with this optional additional cost on there.
what
so-
that means. Yeah, that just means that if it ends up costing us more than $130, we can require the permittee to pay the additional cost. But the $130 is my estimate based on inspecting the plan, coming out and doing the physical inspection, and also the clerk cost for writing the permit up. And so I figure that should cover all of that at about $130 instead of $600. Because like we've had people come in and need to do repairs to their side sewer, and the repair only costs them $125, and then we're supposed to charge them $600 additional dollars for the permit. You know, and I was like, this is just out of whack. That is way, way wrong. Now, for a new one, that might be a different story.
Okay, so since we have this provision with plus additional cost, I think we should go as low as we can.
Okay.
Council?
Is-
Because we have that provision on there, so if we put it at $80 and it's $120, then we can charge them more. But if it's 75,
Well, we know it's going to be at least $80 for the one inspection, plus his travel, which I can't remember off the top of my head what that is. I'm thinking that's like $30 or something for his travel. So there's 110, plus time for the city clerk to process, and for the building official to review any inspection or any plans for the preparation of the repair. I think 130 is kind of the base minimum, but if you want to go down, that's okay too.
I mean, you're not like going to reroute any sewer line to
Right.
repair any kind of like side sewer thing. It's a straight shot.
Sometimes it is a little rerouting, just depends on the situation, but
Right.
but really this is more for fixing, you got a leak, the pipe broke, and you need to repair it, so, yeah. If you want to go down to whatever, and that's fine, we'll recoup whatever the
Well, with
actual
the,
cost.
yeah, plus additional cost, it just makes, I'd rather have it
Okay.
doable than, what do you think? I'm asking you guys, because we're all in this together here.
I'm thinking that the 130, like if I was going to do it and it's, say it was $70 or $80,
I mean, it's a drop in
then
the
I-
bucket. No one's going to want to dig up their own sewer and replace it, and, you know, maybe you either.
You'd be
but-
surprised.
I mean, you would be
That's what I'm
surprised, but to
saying.
do it right and to do it with permits and stuff like that is,
but I hate seeing like, okay, I'm going to plan on it being $80 and then come in and it's
Yeah.
$150 or $130. And so I'd rather just get this is pretty close to basic
it's pretty low. But
for
I don't
having him
scare
come out
somebody
and give
off
me.
by doing it the right way and doing it themselves by having it a little too high. You know what I mean?
So what's the
So
concern?
with provisions,
Let me ask you a question on this. If somebody say it is a pipe, and because I've unfortunately had to do this myself, and I have to patch the pipe. So I have to come in and get a permit for that, which more than likely I already have done it during the weekend because
well,
it's
you
a
gotta-
broken sewer pipe, you gotta fix
Yeah.
it. Everybody wants you to fix it sooner than wait on it. So what kind of plans would Les want?
Well, it depends on the situation. If you're just doing a straight line patch, you know, like there's a 1 foot section or 2 foot section, and he just wants to see that you're using the right connection and the right quality of pipe.
Okay.
And so that can be,
The
it
right
can be
ABCs.
very simple.
So is
It
it
can
not,
be
it's
very
not
simple.
needing to be
Around the right.
on blueprint form and?
Right. He just needs to see that you're using the right, that you're
So
going
when
to
you
use the
sell
right
your
stuff.
house, the next guy knows that it's done right.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what the
And then
permit process is
if you
about.
run into that situation where you do have to do it over the weekend, it's emergency, the office isn't open, you can't exactly come and get a permit, do the work, leave it uncovered so that it can be inspected. Just don't cover it up until the permit's done so you can come and inspect it and verify that you did it correctly. So,
So, I was gonna ask about the sewer hookup fee, it's 4,000,
that's to connect to the sewer system, right?
but customers, I thought it was 4,500.
No, it's 4,000.
Seems like I paid, maybe the other 500 was for additional
It was for the side sewer probably.
side source.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
yeah.
Okay.
So does council want to leave that at 130, or do you guys want to bring it down to 80, or what do you want to do there?
We're gonna have to do this for a while too. If it
Can it go opposite? Can it go 130, but if it's less, we charge less?
We can give them a refund if we charged them too much.
Yeah, that's a booking nightmare.
Yeah.
I think both ways is probably a booking nightmare, really. Because then we're gonna go after them for a little bit more or whatever, so we're just trying to figure something out in the mid-ground. It's way cheaper than that $600, but covers our cost. And I'm just trying to be the devil's advocate over here.
Well, one thing is if we do charge less and then the costs end up being more than that, what we have to do at that point is we have to hold signing off on the permit completion until they pay the additional amount. So we have to collect that from them. So that,
It's the catch-22
Yeah,
kind of
so
thing.
yeah. So-
Okay.
Okay.
So anyway, well,
It helps
we
me
can,
out a lot,
is that,
so
yeah,
I
is that
think
the last item?
$30 is way worth the headache of
Yeah.
the permitting, everybody, so I'm good with that, so.
So then the last change proposed
sense
is on
to
the
me.
very last page, which is just updating the solid waste garbage rates, which again, were adopted at the end, was it the end of last year? And we just never updated the fee schedule to show in here, was it like?
You
just
know, I would like to go over this, the solid waste stuff,
Okay,
because I think that we could do better with a different solid waste person.
okay, so we could put that on on the agenda for another discussion, but what this is doing is ratifying what's already been approved.
Oh, okay.
So this was already approved and is already being charged as
Right.
of the middle of last year, I think it was, and it just.
Yeah, because he was late changing his prices.
Yeah, so the majority of these are just ratifying. We do have two increases, the manufactured home and then the lien filing fee. And then one reduction, which is the side sewer repair one going down, so that's what's being proposed here. Council can approve it as is. Council can approve it and say, accept this one, I don't like that one, or council cannot approve it. So those are kind of your options.
Which do they want to do?
Which do you want to do?
Do you want to?
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 13-2019 to update the Vader fee schedule as written.
Do we have a second?
I said it.
All those in favor say
No,
aye.
council discussion.
Oh, council. Oh, okay, council discussion. I'm sorry.
I just want to thank you for your patience while I was trying to understand everything, but I think it's pretty,
You okay?
I understand it, yeah. I'm okay with that.
Okay. As the motion was seconded by,
Me.
yeah, okay.
Randy
And-
Hall.
Yeah. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. The motion is passed. The third item of business this council to consider is the park rental application. Use of Weird Park by the Assembly of God Church on July 12th and 13th. Their annual STP fundraiser. Do we have a motion to approve the rental application?
I move to approve the conditions of approval as written, authorize additional use events as at Warden Park.
The motion has been submitted. Do we have a second? A second. It's been seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay? It's been passed. Did anybody sign up for public comment?
I think so. Yes, first on the list is Cindy Radcliffe.
Cindy Radcliffe, 1027th Street. Could we add the STP, welcome people, whatever, to the city board out there, just to say that some of us, maybe 3 of us, are happy they're here. It'd just be a nice welcome, for them. Also, I'm glad you updated the fees. I know that some of those needed to be done. How are we doing on opening the office or answering the phones? Are we gonna do this, or are we just gonna let that one go? How about just answer the phones? I mean, that can't be that tough. Pick it up. School zone. I happen to be looking through some boxes that I'm unpacking still. I noticed some notes from 2016. I don't even know how many of you people were here then, but you guys said it was the council said it was a good idea to have a school zone because of, school.
Yeah.
And yet it's 2019 and we haven't had any movement. I don't know if anybody is looking into maybe a grant. We know it's $22,000. Could somebody possibly look into that? No, don't talking, Lois.
No.
Also, what happened to home-based business? I actually had an idea, or I thought we were going toward that. Mike was working hard on that, and then I don't know what happened. It just kind of went into the black hole, and it hasn't come back out. And I thought that was a good idea for people to have an opportunity to make money and, be self-sufficient. That's it.
Okay, next on the list is Judy Costello.
Notepad here. Judy Costello, 709 A Street, Vader. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
I have a Leona sexy voice tonight. Saturday, August the 3rd is our annual citywide yard sale. I'd invite everyone, please participate. It is a big deal. We have a lot of people come to town. It starts at 8 until question mark. I also have a lot of people who do it on Friday, and I encourage that if you want to do it 2 days. That's strictly up to you. I talked to Anita today down at the Little Crane, and she suggested that they may be doing storage unit sale or something at that time also, which will be a big boost to the day. I've invited the May Day committee to do the hot dog sale this year. They showed some interest in wanting to do a fundraiser for the hot dogs. So they are yet to get back to me on that, possibly
And
Monday.
they're welcome to set up down at the restaurant, at the storage unit.
Okay, that's
your place,
perfect, that's perfect. So that's kind of our schedule. If you want to be on a map, I'll be doing the map. They're located in front of my house. I've got my recorder on at home, so just call the home number, leave your address, and everything will be taken care of after that. Second quick thing on my list is I gave approval for a thermometer to be set on my property to raise money. However, there is no name on it. There is no dollar amount. There is a bucket underneath the sign. I had somebody contact me and want to know what I was raising money for. So, heads up to the park board. Any money that comes my direction, I am keeping.
So we just drive by and throw money in that bucket?
And you throw money at the bucket, and we are Vader. I anticipate it'll still be there tomorrow when we come by. So anyway, if anybody talks to the park board, would you let them know they need to put park board on it, and some kind of gauging of money, and they're welcome to leave it there. However, I had a couple other things on my list, but one has overwhelmed every bit of it. As of yesterday, I spied a very large pig living 2 houses away from City Hall and 2 houses away from me.
Oh, I've seen that.
This bothers me. I am not going to go for it. I'm going to be here every council meeting screaming and yelling until the council takes it is in the ordinance.
Isn't that a small, oh,
It is a very, look at me, it is a very large pig, half as big as your little table you're sitting at. It is white with large black spots.
Is it a pet?
It does not appear to be a pad. It appears to be, it might be lunch at some point coming soon. So I'm not going to fill out a complaint form, but I really wish that we look at that ordinance, because I remember Lois going nose to nose with somebody in the community over a pig.
Yep, I remember that
And
too.
I can go for the chickens and I can fall for a turkey, but I can't do a pig. I came here to live downtown in the middle of cement and asphalt in the core area as a business. I do not want to be surrounded by pigs. So that's my comment for tonight, and it's nice to see you
How
all.
big is this pig?
It's very large.
It's big.
It's,
I don't know, I
I
haven't
heard
seen
it
it.
was
Oh,
like
okay, it's not the pig I'm thinking of.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah.
Is a pig considered a small or a large hoofed animal?
I don't know.
That's
It's
a
not,
large.
it's
Is
not
it?
specified.
I mean, 'cause some
No,
people have-
in our
we don't have
we-
small pigs.
But-
we can't have a large.
Well, this thing
No.
stands.
There,
Small.
okay,
Yeah.
Just,
Hey.
I just looked at the animal ordinance yesterday. The animal ordinance says swine is not allowed.
Okay.
Swine is not allowed. It doesn't say anything else except swine is not allowed.
Cool. I just,
So,
thank you.
And I would like to
I
comment.
would like to know where it is that you're talking about, because I don't know where that is,
You come
but
by it every day going to work.
I don't see it. So
I don't-
someone's gonna
I've
have
never
to tell
seen
me
it
where.
either.
Someone's gonna have to tell me where in
How
order
long
for
has
us
it been
to.
there, Judy?
Well, I've been gone for 2 months.
I know.
I'm going to say yesterday I spied it.
If you can get an address to City Hall, that way we can
That
write
would be
a,
very helpful.
get an official action out.
Well, it's the second
Okay.
house on this street.
It's
Third
near
house.
Right
Yeah,
over by the fire.
third house.
All right, I've never seen it. I even drove by in the alley yesterday.
No, I've been by
Didn't notice
sometimes.
it,
You
but
see
I
it.
don't-
Trust the end.
Oh, yeah, can I do this?
Anyway, yes,
Definitely
absolutely.
something that's easy to
Oh,
take
I
care of.
guess not.
Yes, you can. That was it for public comment, Lois.
Yes, that's it. Can I be done?
Do you need to do council comment or elected official comment?
Oh,
Okay.
yes, I need to do the elected official comment.
You might need to do that to get their attention so that they hear you.
Last call. Anybody got anything else to say from the elected officials? No? Yes? Nope. I'm gonna say no. It's over.
What time?
And it is 10 till 7.
6:50?
Yes.